Hello. Happy Wednesday. Are we ready to discuss more about secrets don't stay buried? People here, do you want to wait for a few minutes for other people to join, or just go ahead? Yeah, okay. So we can wait for a few minutes. Right. Well, while we're waiting for some of the Definitely Readers Book Club members to join the live, I'm going to discuss who we are, and that kind of thing. So I'm Katie James. My sign name is this. I am hard of hearing and I am simcomming. And I will be voice interpreting for Desi tonight. And then also, so this is the Definitely Readers Book Club live event. So what we do is we read books that have deaf and hard of hearing characters or are written by deaf and hard of hearing authors. So this month for October, we're reading J.D. Mills, who is a hard of hearing author. Their book, Secrets Don't Stay Buried. And this book is full of deaf and hard of hearing characters. Desi, would you like to introduce yourself? Yes. Hello, I am Desiree. Desi, my sign name is this. I am deaf and I am a co-host with Katie James. And she is voice interpreting for me. Hello, Heather. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well tonight. But anyways, before we start, a few announcements. If you're on the Discord, you will have seen some of the announcements or all of the announcements. But first, at the end of the month, we have an author interview with J.D. Mills. It's October 27th, which is not a Wednesday night. It is a Monday night. That's because it was really close to Halloween, so we didn't know if it would be possible to do it that Wednesday night, so we planned it for Monday night. So we'll be going live here on TikTok, not Instagram, sorry, TikTok. We'll be going live with J.D. Mills. They will be simcomming, I will be simcomming and voice interpreting for Desi, and Desi will be signing. So if you're on Discord and you have author questions, go ahead and start posting those questions because we want to send them by next Thursday at the latest. The second announcement, Desi announced it tonight, we're going to pause for November and December with all the holidays. Everyone is busy. And then also, we've still not found a cozy fall winter read that has deaf characters. So we're still struggling to try to find a book that will fit that vibe. So we decided that we will go ahead, not shut it down, but pause it. Pause for November and December on reading together as a book club. If you read, the Discord will be open. We'll be chatting there. We may do some surprise lives. Sorry, my dog hit my line. Maybe do some surprise lives, but no specific Wednesday night live. That will be a change for November and then December. And in December, we'll announce when we will start back. Okay. Desi, is there any more that you want to announce right now? Any more things? No. The the live tonight, next week, the JD Mills, and then we'll be pausing Definitely Readers for, that's pretty much it. If we have more to pop up, we will announce it on Discord, and we'll be discussing things there. We'll be more active there. We're always around. So if there's any questions, and Eden, I'm sorry I have not posted yet. Eden asked me to translate a quote, how to sign this quote from this book. Let me find it. What page? 173. Marcus, comment. Go ahead and find it. Okay. Marcus is telling her he has not seen her in a few days either, and then that quote that is right there. Oh, 173. Done. Okay. That's when she's at the library and she is talking with Tayan. So that quote, she asked me to sign, and I forgot to sign it and post it. I will, don't worry. And so she asked, how would you sign the sarcasm? So she said, Marcus said, I've not seen you in a while, or at a blanket approach with everyone. Okay. It's at the top of the page, yes. So how would you sign it? So I was thinking in ASL, it's just like, we've not seen you and not hung around in a while. Are you ignoring me, or are you just stepping back? What? So mostly sarcasm is very facial expressions. You're backing up, like adding ASL slangs. I hope that helps, Eden. Are you here, Eden? She's here. Does that help? I'm missing the sweats. Yes, it's just over. So she replied and says, yeah, yes, it's just over my ASL knowledge. Well, I was trying to send you a video about that, a little bit more about that, and I made a new tab in the ASL categories that says ASL translations. So it is open for anyone who, hey, I want to translate this word. How do you sign that? Or how do you sign this sentence? Or how do you sign, I'm curious. So there you can ask and we can help. Great. That is a good idea. And if as a reminder, on the Discord, we do have other like groups. For example, we have ASL resources. So if you know more resources we don't have listed there, you can add them. We also have the book list is there too, or the link to it. And if you're not aware, if you're new here, we do we're trying to curate a book list with some deaf and hard of hearing characters that is easy for you to find and go to read books that have the representation. Interestingly enough, because I was searching for a cozy fall book last night, sometime recently. And I found some new books that are not on our list. I'm not sure if they are like side characters or not. So that's just something to think about if we want like a grouping on the list to have like side characters where there is some representation, but it's not like fully, main characters. Something to think about. But I found more and I was like, oh, okay. That's cool. But anyways, okay, Desi, do you want to catch everybody up to where we are tonight? So we have read chapters 1 to 10, and tonight we will be discussing chapters 11 through 15. So do you want to catch everybody up about what's happening before? Before we start, sarcasm. Sarcastic. And funny enough, that's one of my favorite signs to use is sarcasm, just because I think it's a fun way to say it. Thanks. I'll let you go ahead where we are now. Okay. So we are discussing this book, Secrets Don't Stay Buried. It is a mystery, a little bit of a scary story. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like real horror, but there is some scary parts. There is stalker. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So there is a person. Okay. Well, let me back up. So the book starts with an unalivement of Lennon's roommate. So they're trying to figure out like who did it, and then like right after the unalivement, Lennon starts getting messages, like text messages that says, I saw what you did. So what does she do? So what she and her best friend Finley, is it Finley? I think is her sign name. I still don't remember. Okay. So something happened in high school that was very traumatic to Lennon, and it did involve a boy, and you do find out what happened, but before that, they leave some eggs in his car. Later, you find out that her friend went back and actually like egged his car and like destroyed a little bit of the car. But before that, they were playing a joke. I guess not really joking, but that kind of thing. And the next day when she woke up after her roommate was unalived, she got a message that said, I know what you did. I know what you did. And it had a picture. So she is newly like college student, and it is a deaf and hard of hearing school, and like she's new, and so she's like walking around meeting. Yeah, it's like the first week of school. You're right. Like meeting some new people, and she found someone she really liked, whose name is Tayan. And you do find out, like, as they're trying to figure out what's happening, who did it, that kind of thing. Now, they don't go to the police because, honestly, I'm not sure. I think a lot of it has to do with she doesn't want to get in trouble with what happened to the car because they don't have money. And, like, the person whose car that they basically destroyed is wealthy. And so, and they had already paid off people for what he did before in high school. So all of this thing. So they're like trying to figure it out. They're like getting his phone, like copying his phone to see if they can find the messages or the pictures that are on it. They find the unalivement weapon, the spicy stick, as Eden on Discord called it. We were laughing with that. So where we left off, where did we specifically leave off? Oh, so where we left off, Lennon opened her door and saw the picture that she had sent to Ryder, who was the guy, and it was posted everywhere, and it was like a sexy, oh, thank you for the Halloween pumpkin. It's cute. Like, you know, a sexy picture that you really don't say. Anyway, she trusted the mail, and that was bad. And then you do find out that Tayan, the girl that she's interested in, also had a similar experience with Ryder, and she is getting messages too. When we left off, I had no idea and who did what. So, anyways, yes. Okay. So we left off with the posters are posted, they're all lining the hall, and she is like panicking and ripping them down and all of that. And she texts Tayan and says what happened. And Tayan came to her room and stayed the night because she was scared. Because before that, the person who's stalking had gone into her room and like charged her phone and then like took a picture, I think, of her sleeping or something. Like, creepy things happened. So I think that's, yes, there. Well, okay, may have finished the book because I will say that so far, like the first 10 chapters, they weren't slow, but they felt longer. Like it felt reading was a little bit slower, or it took more time to like get through. We're only discussing chapters 11 through 15. We're not going to discuss it all tonight. So if you did not read, it's okay. But I did finish, so I know who did it. Right? Okay. So put that aside. Hold that. But about how the story is going, I feel like at first you had it was like, whoa, and then it backed up. And it went to the before everything happened. That's true. And then that was gone. And then after it was like, and about the interview with the cops, and it felt very abrupt. Mm-hmm. It did not really fit the flow of the book. So I would like to see more of the cops and the lawyer. Thank you. About the lawyer and the interpreters. I felt that was very brief. Yeah. And there was a lot of things with the Lennon and her friends. So that is something to say, is when it opens, the book starts. You have, who hired the lawyer? Who did that? I think it was Ryder, maybe. Oh, that hired it. Okay. Hi, Hope. You're not late. We just recapped. Oh, 1 minute. We just recapped the full like where we left off last week. So in the book, you have the open where the unalivement happens, right? And the first day of the unalivement. And then it backs up to like, what, 8 days before I think it starts. And then chapter, I feel like, so 11 is 1 day before the unalivement. So where we started this week is 1 day before, and then it goes to after the unalivement. And so, yes, that's. Okay, so now, so if you've read, so Hope said it's a little bit hard to tell with the time on her Kindle. At least there is not. Yeah, so the time, oh, so you're on a Kindle, right? Like you're reading it. So my Kindle is basically chapter 19, 11, 1, 9, and I'm like, So it doesn't have that. It doesn't have, I was just like, I wish it had that camera. So we have like, do you have like the 4 days before? It didn't have like 13. Oh, okay. It didn't have the quote like that. Okay. It had text. It was just a little bit confusing. Okay. So, just the chapter numbers. Interesting. Okay. So, 11 is 1 day before the unalivement. 12 is the day after. 13 is 4 days after. 14 is 4 days after. And 15 is 6 days after. That would make it hard because you would be a little bit confused since it backs up to before the unalivement. Okay, Desi's gonna show. I'm not sure if you can see it. How do I turn that down? Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. And then when I go home and click on, so you click on the 19 and then it took me to chapter 20. And it's like flipped. So there's no numbers. So yes, so 11 starts with 1 day before the unalivement. Oh, it has the art on the picture. So does it say something on the picture? Curious. So I actually, go ahead. So the book has more editing than the Kindle format. Maybe it's not updated. I mean, this might be something to let her know, to let, JD Mills know, like, make sure this was how it was supposed to be, kind of thing. I don't know, but that is interesting. I had actually bought this book when it released in April because I had found it on TikTok and I was like, yes. And then I kind of saved it because I wanted it for like a spooky read, since it's the suspense. And then that was the reason why we we held it until October to read. But we are reading, so chapter 11 opens with Lennon and Tayan. They're in bed together, and they have. It was very sweet. You're right. It was. My notes said it was a very cute morning, and I liked the quote that said her presence brought a sense of calm to the chaos that we were living in. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. That's a good quote. I put down that her quote that said that everything seems so much brighter in the room with her around and safe. And it just touched my heart. So that was really sweet. So it was a very cute morning. And then they got a text from the ghost, and they call the stalker the ghost because they can't figure out who it could be. And Wade is supposed to be finding who the number or numbers belong to, but says that they can't figure it out. So so there's a lot of numbers too. It's not just one. And so the main characters is Lennon. Finley, it's her best friend. Tayan is the love interest. Marcus is Tayan's brother. He's hearing, but he grew up with like a coda and a soda. So, but he's at that college. And then Wade is the last one. Those are the main characters. You have like a few like Finley's brother, not sister, brother, and Lennon's brother. Or you see them. You never really see a parent. Did you realize that? Oh, that might be part of the problem. Cameron. Then Felix. Yes. We do have a question. Enoa089, are you asking me or are you asking Desi? The question is, how long did it take you to learn ASL? You never stop learning. Like, signs change, but I have been learning ASL since college. So I grew up hard of hearing, but I didn't meet another deaf person or get involved in the deaf community until college. Oh, that's right. Eden, you do get Lennon's parents one time. Not one time, one time. Desi started learning ASL when she was young. She was in elementary school. You started learning ASL at elementary school, right? Okay. So Desi's answering your question. Yes, you're right. Only learning. I was born deaf, and I started learning when I was 2. Okay, 2. That's when my mom picked up that I was deaf, and I immediately started learning. I went to speech therapy and ASL both at the same time. But understand, it does not mean that you immediately know. No. You need to hang around and socialize with deaf and hard of hearing people to help improve your skills and your receptive skills, and you're always improving, practicing, and ASL is not always the same. Like 50 years ago, it's not the same now. So it's always evolving. So you can learn. And if you want to learn ASL and go to class and go to practice, maybe basic signs, I would say maybe 6 months to a year. It depends on how many times you socialize and practice. So, suggestion would be to get involved with your local deaf events, and go to the classes, or so you can start practicing. Even if you're taking ASL 1, go ahead and go and hang around, because the more that you practice, the more that you immerse yourself, the more confident you will feel. So socialize more and you'll feel more confident. Socializing is the key. So Eden is right. You do see her parents one time when she goes back home. But it seems like her parents are not really sign. Well, Felix doesn't, remember? So, so Lennon grew up, she put her hearing aids back on. She grew up in an oral house, not a signing house. Oh, good. Yes. Definitely keep learning. Okay. So good. Well, we want you to encourage you to keep going. Yes. So Felix, before we go into 11 to 15, I do have to say that Felix may not be the main character, but he is really important. He shows improvement of the relationship with his sister Lennon, and I really like their sibling relationship, like how the bond that they have, because it's pretty standard with hearing when you're the only one who is deaf in the house and your siblings are hearing. Typically, there's a lot of conflict. So it's nice to see that moment between the two of them, and it gave me a little bit of a healing in my inner child for me. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So I liked that. Hi, Shelly. Welcome. So Eden, you're right. So Felix takes her comments seriously, accepts them and puts it in the back of his mind, and he does see. So my personal opinion is that he sees how Cameron, who is hearing, brother of Finley, who is deaf, maybe their bond and how they communicate. I feel like maybe Felix saw that and went, I want that. Yeah. Oh shit, I need to connect with my sister. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yes, gradually improving, but it's still progress. If he starts learning and he is improving, it's a good thing. Yes, I love that he didn't say, look at me, I'm learning for you. No, he just quietly did it. He took the class, and then she said, your signing is improved. Like, good job. Like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm taking a class. You know, like, that was a very sweet moment. So in chapter 11, so we do get where Branya and Lennon are talking. And she's crying again. She goes, fine, what's wrong? And they both have a heart-to-heart conversation. And you feel, oh, in the back of your mind, oh, okay, you're not as mean as I thought. And so she was talking about text too. And I was like, no, I was a little bit confused about why she was apologizing. Like, okay, I understand that, you know, something happened to Lennon in high school, right? And Branya was there and didn't like support her, right? But it seemed like she was trying to apologize for something that was new that was happening now. And I was like, they've not started to get the well, yeah, no, because it's before the murder. Oh, wait, yes, they were getting the text messages. My brain is confused. But I don't know why Branya was like, I'm so sorry, forgive me. Like, she was like, okay, sure. Where is this coming from? What made her say sorry now? So it's like what maybe Anders, her boyfriend. Anders. So hope for this specific scene, I don't think that the like time stamps would help, because I was confused a little bit about why she was apologizing and needing forgiveness. It seemed like it was something more than what happened in high school. But that is the first time that you really meet Branya and you really get to see an interaction between the two. So, that, I don't think there's anything more for chapter 11, but chapter 12, no, we're on chapter 12 now. I had a question. If Branya was so like well liked, like it said that people liked her, why did Lennon not like have a good relationship with her? I would assume it's not just because she didn't support her in high school. It seemed like it was something different. Sorry to deviate, but on my note, the first thing that in chapter 12, I said, okay, this is confusing right now. Is this the present? Or is this continuing to look back? But it's now, so it's related with the time, and I agree with Sarah and Eden, and hope everyone. We agree that it is very confusing. There's a long time of flashbacks, and all of a sudden, okay, it's now with the cops saying already have showed enough evidence that it could be Ryder. Yeah. And Lennon doesn't really believe it, so. But Lennon talked with Ryder, right? We've already gotten to that part where she had they met up at the coffee shop. Like oh no. That's not, that was before. That's later. Oh, okay. Okay. I missed that. Yes, Eden. Like when the ghost, I think it was a little bit later, when the ghost sends a text message to Tayan from Lennon's phone, I was just like, so that part I was not expecting. Like we knew in the beginning when the unalivement happened, we knew that Lennon thought it was not supposed to be Branya, right? But it was not supposed to be Branya. But to find out that it was supposed to be Tayan that should have been unalived, that part shocked me. I was like, what? Wow. It was instead of her. And I was just like, first I was like, what? Wow, why? And then really, it was a really messy, like going in between. Yes, that was a twist. I was not expecting that part. That way, like I thought it may have been Lennon who was supposed to be unalived, not Tayan. But actually, it makes sense. Like, so I did say that I'm wondering if the girls that Ryder hurt and embarrassed. So that was my comment. I was wondering. I said, I still think that Iris. I still think that Iris. And you said maybe, maybe not. So, um, no, I don't think it's Theo. I thought last week, what? I think I said Wade. At that time, I thought it was Wade. And she said Iris. Yeah. So I guess we'll see who do you guys think? I don't think it's Theo. And Ryder just seems like an asshole. Like he doesn't seem like a person who was smart enough to do all of this. Yeah, poor him. Okay, so yes, that. It said that Iris was Theo's sister, and I was like, no, Osborne, Whitlock. They're not siblings. I was really confused with that part. So I saw it like they became really close friends. But they became close. That part about his sister, that was weird. So they're not, and I think maybe it was changed later and that part might have been missed. I don't know. That's a good thing. Ooh, half siblings. That's true. They could be. It was just a little bit confusing because you had not seen that before. But the person that I think it was Eden said, Ava, it's a possibility. I could see that. She was weird. Remember the girl who got sent to like basically conversion camp, right? True. Yes, that. There's before we jump, first, we know that Lennon, Finley, and Iris for before were friends. And when Lennon had something happen to her, when she was going through some things, she decided to separate herself from people, to isolate. And she stayed friends with Finley, but Iris became more, she got sent off to a camp, and then Lennon thought that she moved, but she didn't move. She didn't know everything that was happening to Iris. Yeah. So I don't want to jump ahead. And Ava knew Iris from the camp. From the camp. Yeah. Okay. So in chapter 12, I said about, I think Sarah just commented about using Theo's interest in Finley to find out more information. I laughed. I said, I think that Finley is protesting too much, saying, no, I don't like him, and actually does like Theo. So Eden, they didn't really explain the kind of camp. I think it's that kind of camp. It's like a problem child camp, like where you get in trouble and you go to that camp, and it's like a Christianity kind of camp, from what I assume when reading. Because that Ava said the father, you know, who was she talking about? God, or don't know. So I don't know if it's a wilderness school, or we don't know. But we do know, like, it's like, wow, it's really awful. Yeah. The troubled teen camp. Yeah. So do you know, back in the 80s, in the early 2000s, there was a TV show about that wilderness troubled teen. It was a very popular show. I don't remember that. I watched it often. It was pretty popular. Everyone was talking about it, and I was like, what? What? It was really awful how they treated all those kids and everything. I do remember some TV shows that like dramas, like, you know, like crime shows, like where they go into one of the camps because something has happened, and like they're like investigating it, and you're just like, oh, that's awful. Yeah. Yeah. With hidden, yes, that one. That was a good one. True. Sarah, it does. You're right. So I said, if Theo is such a good guy, why is he friends and hanging around with Ryder, who is awful to women? That was my question. So my assumption is, so you know someone and you're friends with that person, and it becomes not what you think later, and then he's stuck with that person maybe, or he's forced to hang out with them. Like maybe the parents are friends, and so he grew up hanging around with Ryder. A good thing. Both are opposite. Theo is more chill, laid back. He's probably a little bit poor, and then Ryder is a snob and has wealth, so gets whatever he wants. So Hope, yes, their camps are just begging for the kid to do something. Okay, so I did have a note for chapter 12 that said, and I mean, I understood it. It was just something that I had not thought about is, typically when you read a story and the character is saying, they're thinking like out loud and they're speaking, well, when Lennon is thinking, like she's thinking out loud, she's signing. And I was like, and it says, she's signing. And I was like, oh, that's such a fun, like, I didn't even think about that. Like when you're writing that part, I was like, I don't know if I've ever noticed that on another deaf character in a book. Like if it says that they're thinking out loud, but in actuality they're signing. And I was just like, oh, that was cool. It was just a little thing that I liked about the book. That's cool because I don't know if you guys know, but many deaf and hard of hearing actually do sign to themselves. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be sitting here thinking and I'll just be finger spelling or I'm driving and I'm signing. And so then it's just a habit of things to think about. Yeah. Ooh. Are we on chapter 13 now? I think so. Was there any, I will also say the author, so J.D. Mills did a lot of alliteration with some of her words, where it starts with the first letter is the same for like a few words. And I really like that. And it was fun to see, like one of them, it said, cornered into compromising situations. It's not a lot of alliteration, but it was fun to read that kind of thing and see that. Yes, when I'm reading, I'll fingerspell to myself. Anything that we left out for chapter 12? I don't think so, but we can continue if not. So chapter 13, we're on chapter 13. Awesome. So I said, finally, Wade has some news. Okay. Yes, finally. It took him a long enough time to figure out some things. So Ryder has a picture of Iris in his phone. And it's the only, so this part made me, he only has one picture that's not like, I don't know, like locked. Like this picture was the only one that was open to see. I don't know if I believe that. Maybe he lied about that. That part I was like, It could be. It's really corrupted, but I did find one and I was like, okay. Sarah, I agree. I was like, let's see what that means. Why? Oh, that's true. So Hope said if it's not Iris in the end, she's being set up to be the ghost. It's true. She could be. Yes. If you find it easily, 1 second. So if you find it easily, maybe it was too easy. Needs to be a little bit harder. Oh, but at the same time, I also said it feels like it's setting up Theo a little bit too. with how it was written. At that time, I thought it was both Theo and Iris, and they're really good friends. Oh, okay, so this is where Lennon meets with Ryder at the coffee shop, because you find out that Ryder is getting messages, text messages too. Not just Lennon and Tayan, but Ryder is getting messages too. No, I think only 3 are getting text messages. I don't remember. No, they didn't get text messages. Yeah. I did think it was a little bit funny. It said that Wade would let Tayan know what happened. And I was like, why not Lennon? Like, why not let her talk to the girl that she's interested in? But we'll see. That was it felt like a short chapter. I didn't have a lot of notes for that one. Desi, did you have more notes? Same, not a lot of notes for chapter 13. Chapter 14, I liked that it said that Finn's always been the best at like sneaking around, like not seen. I like that part where it's just like she's really good at doing this kind of thing. So that was really fun and funny. There was a lot of sarcastic humor too. For example, Lennon said, don't you get caught? And she already got caught with the eggs in the car. Yeah. So it was just like, and what you mean? So they decided to do, to team up and meet Theo, wink wink, for homework or whatever, and then set up a camera in his room. And so she was putting the camera and then sitting back, and then all of a sudden Lennon felt in her gut that something did not feel right. Yeah. And what they were trying to do was Finley, her job is to flirt and get some information from Theo. So I thought that I wrote something. I said, Eden, I forgot that he gave her a list of names, right? Yes. So I'm curious as to why can they not go now to the cops? They have a list of names. They have that's what we were talking about with the cops. Like, it's a perfect time. Like, go ahead, and why not go and not? And then someone commented and said it was very risky. Okay. So Finley's hiding something. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. And then we find out that Iris was obsessed with Ryder in that chapter. That's where we meet Ava, who tells about Iris and her obsession, and she became she was happy and then very violent, and just not nice. I did like that it said, you have to let go of the idea that this is somehow your fault. But that doesn't mean you can't help her. Talking about like what happened to Iris, because she had no idea that something had happened to Iris with Ryder. And so Lennon was feeling guilty that like, I should have helped her. I should have helped her. And I think it was Tayan said, like, just let it go. Like, it's not your fault that something happened. But you can still help her and like, like be her friend and hang around, whatever. But you can't change what happened. It's not your fault. And I liked that part. Same. That was a lot of that list. Yeah, that was a lot. It was interesting too. So before that, Lennon thought maybe it was Ryder. But then she said, it's too personal for this to be Ryder. It seems like maybe she felt like he would do it like joking, like, ha ha, ha, I know what you did. And then like stalk her for fun kind of thing. But this feels very emotionally and personal. But yes, Hope, I agree. It's a good quote. They broke into our room. And all of the other stuff is just creepy. They didn't say how many are on the list. But she said, she didn't say how much or the number, but she did say there was a lot. They did go visit, but not all of them went to this college or were like still here. So you only saw them visit Ava and talk to Iris too. Because at the same time, I think that Lennon met up with Iris, right? To talk to her? Was that before or after? I'm getting confused. I can't remember. Yeah. Just that half, it like went to the college. I can't remember. So Iris is still in high school. She's not graduated yet. She was younger. So 1 year behind. And Ava didn't go to college. Like she was not in, no. She was in college now. She had a room to herself. Yeah. Because they said she saw the room and on the other side, she didn't use it. And she felt like it was weird that she had her room for herself, and if I had the room to myself, I would use all of it. Yes. Okay, fine. Come on in. Come on in. It was very, like, timid. Like, very timid a little bit. Yeah. She felt like Iris was very taboo subject to talk about. I can't talk about that. Oh, no. That girl is in trouble. That girl's trouble. Get away from her. So, hope your comments like makes you wonder if anyone has more motive or have people who do have. Yeah. Maybe. So this was, I did feel like this was a little bit of a hard chapter because you really saw, like, we knew Lennon had trauma, same for Tayan, right? About what happened, but you didn't see her isolating herself from high school. Like, when you meet Lennon, she's going to college, she has some new friends, she's hanging out, she's like trying to figure out this like mystery, she's trying to get a job as a staff like reporter. But you didn't see how she really felt, what happened after everything with high school. With Ava, you can very clearly see the trauma. Like, you see, how, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like timid, or she's just not talking. She doesn't hang out with people. She's like isolated and she's just scared. How she copes with what had happened. Thank you, Eden. Yes, it does show how people have dealt with trauma differently. I feel like this book does a lot about like how it deals with trauma. Okay. I think we're done with chapter 14. We can move on to 15. I did not put down a lot. So I know most of us wrote a lot on chapter 15. Yeah. So Eden used the magic word on Discord because chapter 15 was very detailed chapter with a lot of words. And so I typed it and I was like, block, block, block. And I was like, oh, Discord is triggered violation for specific words. So I did have to delete some of the words and make it make sense. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Eden, for using a spicy stick as the item of the story. So Lennon finds this in her car and she gets it. And I was just like, I hope you are wearing gloves. I think she wrapped it with clothes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or something. So she finds this and she shows it to Finley, and Finley is freaking out. Yes. Yes, that is so fun, right? Yes, she should have contacted the police. Yes, she should have. At that time when she should have done that. I feel like since she had not contacted the police before, maybe she felt like they were going to immediately think that she did it, because like, why would she be finally calling the police about this if she did it about the stalker and the text messages? A lot of it, like the text messages, not reporting that, getting the list about Ryder, not reporting that, like people like coming into her room, like not reporting that, like there's a lot. Oh, Hope. I didn't think about that. So, did the red liquid get on anything in her car? Because if yes, then they can search it and be like, "Where's the spicy stick?" If they found the red, the blood. Um, and Sarah, did you see Sarah's comment? It says, "This is the part where I'm like, where are your parents?" Um, it does make her look more sus. Yes, Hope said that. it does make her look very sus. She's hiding it. And it's just like, what? My hands are up, so like, yeah. I am curious. It never said where she's staying since the unalivement happened. I'm assuming Finley's room, but maybe she's staying with Tayan? I don't know. What confused me is because she was already in her room, and then the papers, oh, that was before the unalivement happened. Okay. Oh, that's right. I didn't have that part. Okay. On the Kindle. So when that happened, she said that she took the tape off. Yes, that. Who knows why she didn't call the police or the lawyer? I don't know. Maybe that would be a question to be like, hey, JD Mills, hi, why did she not call the police? So before we explain more, there was one part that I was just a little bit, huh? So it's talking about simcomming. And I think that was when she was talking about it with her brother. About simcomming. And I can't remember what she said exactly. But I felt like a little bit, because I don't think of simcomming as a bad thing. Me. I simcom at home with the kids, and sometimes I am voice on if I want, and sometimes I'm not. So I switch back and forth. So I felt a little bit negative about that part. What do you think about that part? So I didn't read it as negative. I read it more that they were explaining that simcom is not ASL and it's not English. And so it's a mixture of both, and both languages fail because you can't truly be using ASL and you can't really truly use English because you're trying to remember the ASL word. So sometimes you mess up the English word speaking. Now that you said that, looking back, yes, that part has a little bit of a negative, like, simcom's not good. I use it every day. But when you said you don't see it as negative, that makes sense because it's a mixture. You mix the words ASL, English. That makes sense. But that code switching is where I'm coming from. That. So you can do that while you're simcom. Like for example, if you're simcomming and you're signing and speaking, and then you go, how do I say that word? And then I sign it. That, voice off, yes, that. I do that often. That. So I do that all the time. It's very common for everyone. And when you fingerspell and when you sign, you can't always speak the word, so you try to explain it, and so you just sign it. You know, the sign, that. So I do think too, because we've discussed this before. I was raised in a hearing family. You were raised in a hearing family. So simcomming was more natural to do because you were verbal, like you spoke. But for some people who are raised generationally deaf, simcomming can be seen as negative because it's not ASL. So maybe they're seeing that perspective, that it's not good enough because she wants to sign and only sign. She doesn't want to voice. She doesn't want to speak to her brother or to her parents, but she's having to do it because they don't know enough signs. So Lennon, is seeing simcomming as negative. And so maybe that's why in the book it's shown as negative. Maybe something we can ask JD Mills. Maybe that's her experience. Their experience. Sorry. Their experience. Maybe. There was a comment. Yes, Heather, it misses nuance in both languages. So Sarah said, to me, that part felt almost like an aside from the author, even though the character was saying it. It's true. So Eden had a question, Desi. Is simcom and total communication the same thing? No? Like, give me an example. Like, simcom is signing and speaking at the same time. Total communication should mean like signing or speaking only. I think total communication is when the kid can sign and can speak. They have access to all languages, all kinds of communication, right? Or am I thinking about it differently? Google. Okay, so total communication is the approach to communication that uses all available methods to facilitate understanding and interaction rather than relying on one way. So it means like cue speech, signing, other methods, yes. So it incorporates spoken language, sign language, gestures, facial expressions, body language, written words, visual aids, and AAC devices. Yeah. So the goal is to find the most effective and personalized way for individuals, specifically for those with communication difficulties. Okay, so that's a really good question, Eden. So we haven't really talked about that term and what you meant before. I'll give you an example. I don't know if this is a good example, but when I babysat a long time ago, one of the girls was deaf and one of them was hearing. So she had cochlear implants, a deaf girl, and her parents spoke orally, but did cued speech. It is not sign language. Cued speech is like fitting what the sound is, like TH, and then how they showed it. I don't know cued speech. It's really hard. So when I was hired as their babysitter, she did not know any ASL. She did not have the identity. She was speaking and they cued speech with her mom. So she was fine. She was still using. And then I was adding on ASL and teaching her. So I was seeing her mom doing cued speech and I'm doing ASL, and she didn't understand us both. She was speaking and signing and cued speech and doing all three. So that's a lot of different methods, maybe. Considering could be considered total communication. So I think specifically total communication is what is the best way to communicate. So having all the different ways, but figuring out for that person what is the best way for their understanding of language and communication. So it's similar to code switching. Yeah. So I communicate with this person with signing, and I typically match their signing style. For example, if a hearing person is sliding slowly in learning sign, I change my signing to make it more clear and slower. If it is a deaf person that does PSC or C, I change to fit. So I guess, yes, it's their preference, like the person's preference to communicating. So that is an interesting topic. Eden, I'm surprised that the deaf mentor was against total communication. It's maybe because they think the best way would be signing. I don't know. So Sarah had a comment that said it's a balance of trying to explain deaf culture and also telling a story and not making it preaching. I'm struggling with that too. So I was reading, because I'm editing right now, and I was reading and I was like, oh, I got on my soapbox, like preaching about something, in my book. And I was like, delete, or change like the way that I said it. Cause I was like, oh, nope. My dog. Okay. I'm sure. Oh, okay. Maybe. So I just wanted to say SimComm is not really a bad thing. We use it all the time. But you can at home if you're doing your things at home if that works, and that's fine. Like, it's not bad, really. But if you want to be fully ASL, you can't SimComm because that's not ASL. Yeah. Sadie. Fur baby, yes. My dog, Sadie. She wants some love right now. Okay. So we can keep talking about this, but in chapter 15, if you know me, I am a big Veronica Mars person. Like, I really like the show and the movie. Like, I've watched them both. I love Veronica Mars. And so that it was mentioned in the book, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what it felt like this book, after I was like, it does feel like a Veronica Mars kind of book, story, and I like that. No, I'm talking about Veronica Mars. I've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine some. And so that seeing some of those like references like pop up is really fun. Okay. So now after that, Felix this is where before we were talking about how he's improving his sign and that part for she was asking for his help for like what to do with this spicy stick. And it's funny, I was laughing when he said, fine, but if we get caught, you are never hearing of the end of this. And her response is, I don't hear anything anyway. Yeah, that was a good response. It was a good deaf joke. I will also say in this part specifically, normally when I've seen simcomming in the book, I've seen the tag that says simcom, right? But most times it's either italics or it's just quotes. It's not a mixture of both. Yeah, that. And I thought that was really an interesting way to do it. It was showing what he knew signing, but at the same time, it felt like maybe it wasn't fully simcom because maybe he was talking more and only had some signs that he added in to help with understanding. Does that make sense? Like, do you understand that? Yeah. Like, I said recently when I was signing and then, hold on, finger spelling, that. I think she was intending for in that moment when it was voice off and signing and then it was back to some coming. Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Sarah said she thought of it as Felix just throwing in this sign that he knows, but mostly still speaking. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So this is also where I thought it was an interesting little addition. So Lennon told Branya in high school that she hoped that she got stabbed in the back. I forgot about that. Yeah. And then it happened. And she's feeling guilty. I will say too that I put in my notes that Wade feels very, very comfortable like hacking and breaking the laws and doing that kind of things. And this is where, right? Oh, no, not yet. Never mind. So yeah, he felt really comfortable to help, but he does take forever. And I want to add the quote from Felix. That was a good point. As an older brother with wisdom to Lennon. And he said, it's a long quote. Bear with me. It said, you forget that someone put it in your car. Someone died because of all of this. This is not the kind of joke or game that you can change the rules as you go. But if this ghost person is really responsible for all of this, and then they're threatening you and all of your friends, this is not the kind of person you want to do you understand? I was like, dang. Finger spelled word? Undermine. Okay. Oh, underestimate. Underestimate. Yeah. Okay. And he was very serious with her. And he's worried about her safety because he knows it's very serious things that are happening. With the spicy stick is right there. Yeah. And it's getting going. So that's where we left off on chapter 15. Oh, one quote that I loved, it said, "I'm not ashamed of the choices I made. Do I wish I hadn't? Absolutely, absolutely. But the choices he made, talking about Ryder, afterwards, those are on him. That's his responsibility. I can't live my entire life looking back at that moment." And I was like, oh, yeah, that. Like, so I did like chapter 15. There was a lot of details, more than some of the ones before. More than the other chapters. And I felt like it's becoming serious. I felt like before I was like, oh, it's just like, a little bit light, but now it's actually serious. What are we going to do next? What do you think? So what do you think? Yes, chapter 15 was full of things and information and finding out and like, oh shit, that happened. Kind of like moments. Yeah. That's why I kept reading. I can't leave this. I can't take a break. And I will say the chapters after that were really quick. I felt like they were short. We can talk about that next week. But so what do you think will happen next? Who are you thinking is the ghost? I'm curious. I can't tell you my thoughts since I know, and Desi does too. So we're gonna we wait to see what you say. Oh, did you see Hope's comment? So she said the cameras were recording all of their conversations in the place. Maybe. Who knows? I do know that Felix started signing like under things so that they couldn't see his hands. So it is a little bit confusing, but I feel like chapter 15 finally, and then you see right after that, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I will also say there was another part that I felt really connected to. It said, is when Felix is signing and Lennon says, "I'm thankful that he's learning, but I need to make sure it's consistent before I acknowledge what he's doing." And I was like, oh, yeah. Because you all know people who say, "I want to learn," and they start learning sign, and then it gets hard and they stop. And so, when you're deaf in a hearing family, growing up, and they start they start picking up a little bit of sign and they use it, and you feel like, finally I can communicate. And then they stop because it's hard and they don't continue, like they don't want to continue, and they just like stay with what they know. So I completely understand that like feeling that she's like, before I acknowledge and say like, thank you for learning, I want him to continue and like stay like, you know, continue learning and improving. Like I don't want to just say now, thank you, and then let him stop. So that's the end of chapter 15, I guess. But Hope made a comment that says, like, you know, she feels it, but at the same time, now Felix knows how much she has that Lennon has not told him since communication is, you know, not good. So now he's realizing, wow, she has like a, you know, a whole life that she's not talked to me about, like everything that's happened. Like I would have like supported her and like fought Ryder. And she's like, I don't need you to do that. I need your help now with this spicy stick. So hi Sheena, welcome. That's fine. I'm simcomming, so I'm using English speaking, and I'm signing. Desi is voice off, she's deaf, and she is signing, so I'm voice interpreting for her. Hello. Excuse me. So it's a little bit. So Jess, I'm not using signed English. So signed English C uses every word, like you say is, are, like all of the, like all of that kind of things. No, I'm using PSE, which is the mixture of ASL and English. So it's ASL in English word order. So C is very different. It's like letters with the sign. So I am going to the store and I am buying milk. So the ing is like, so I don't do ing sometimes. I will do ing sometimes. It just depends on, so one of my deaf friends, she has, she signs C sometimes. So it's a habit and I connect with her signing and I'm doing ing for that. But yes. So both of us do a mixture, but not C. Yes, SimComm is very hard because it's not either language, really. I am used to it. Yeah, I do it a lot. You're signing and then I'm voicing for her. And I'm thinking and responding and all of that. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, and when we are done and we close down the lives, I am exhausted and normally I go straight to bed. But it is, I don't know. So just reminders. Next week we will finish discussing Secrets Don't Stay Buried by J.D. Mills. And a reminder, they are a hard of hearing author. This is their debut book. It is, oh, I'm sorry. So we will finish this book next week. We'll discuss it, the last few chapters here on Wednesday night around 8:30. And then Monday, October 27th, around 8:30 CST, we will have an interview with JD Mills will be joining. We'll have all three of us will be here. I will be simcomming, JD Mills will be simcomming, and Desi will be signing, and I will be voice interpreting. Do you want me to simcom? If you're comfortable. If not, I'm fine. It depends on your comfort. Like what you feel like doing is fine. Let me think on it. Because sometimes when I speak, my voice gets really tired. Yeah. So, we have that coming soon. We will make a little bit more promotions, just a reminder. And I did on Discord, I did make an event. Bug. Our windows are open, so we don't have our AC right now since it's fall. Your face. So we have a little bit more bugs, like flies, in our house right now. Sorry. That was a little bit too much information. I don't see it. Okay. Anyways, so I made an event on Discord. Now the interview with JD Mills will be here on TikTok, since on Instagram they changed the rules. We don't. What we mean is we do need help. If we need some more followers. Because right now we have about 400 each. And so we need, at least one of us needs 1,000 to get lives back. And so we are stuck with TikTok for now. Yeah. We did try YouTube. And maybe people here know more about it, but I have access to lives, and I'm supposed to have access to let other people join, like, because my account is in good standing, like all of these things I've already done, but it is not there. And I don't know how to figure it out. So we will not be having an interpreter, because most of the interpreters we know don't have enough followers. They only use Instagram and don't have any followers, or a few followers only. Here, do you see? What? She said, Hope said, why is all of social media upping the numbers, right? Because they're trying to compete and changing things. But for TikTok changed recently. It did? Remember, it said you can't do music live anymore. Oh, I never did it because I was told you can't if you're not a business account. Or no. I was told you can't. Oh, people could? Oh, but now no more. And other things. I think is why it recently changed, and now Instagram changed. So TikTok changed July, maybe? I was not aware, since I never used music on TikTok, because I was told that your account will be like banned if you use music you don't have a license for. So they had some open license music you could use, but I just said, nah. So I was a little bit confused because we follow another deaf creator, the Signing D. Yeah. So they're both Oh, so one is deaf, one is hearing. Both, they're married. And sometimes Lives Weekly do signed music. Yeah. So, but they have no problem. Maybe it's because we're under like 5,000 or whatever the number is, right? I don't know. But anyways, the point is Instagram did change right before our last author chat. And so like Instagram changed right before our last author chat. So now, anyways, that's the point. October 27th, we're really excited that JD Mills said, yes, we'll be here. And then we will be pausing reading the books together in November and December, since there's a lot of holidays and family events that happen. And that time of year is just very, very busy. And we can't really find any like cozy fall books to read. I mean, there was one or two, but there's not a lot of choices. So I did read One Short Christmas Story recently. I read it and it was cute. It was okay, but it was not what we were looking for. It was basically, it's not strong deaf rep. So we just not gonna add that. Benji, I'm happy that you joined too. And Rachel, we both live in Alabama. Yes, so we love. So speaking of Hanukkah books, I just found there is a Hanukkah book with a deaf character. 8 Days to Win Her Heart. I'll put it down another day, and I forgot to mention it. So that book is about a man who is deaf and he wants to date a hearing girl. And I think they're both Jewish. Maybe they're celebrating Hanukkah. So it's interesting. I don't remember the author's name. Mary White. Yes. So, it sounds cute. Romance. I haven't read it, but maybe you can read it on yourself and let us know if it's good representation. So while we're not going to be doing like the books live together here, we will be on Discord and chatting there. Maybe we will do some surprise lives. I don't know. I will be working hard on editing my book. Hopefully can get it done before the end of the year and then send it to the editor. So I'm self-editing first and then send it to some beta readers. I think I have a sign-up form if you're interested. You can add a category for that. That's true. Like a form for if anyone is interested to join the team. Yeah, the form. So I already have a form. It's on my link tree. I can add it in the Discord chat. And technically I do have a like server specifically for the beta readers if you're interested. and joining that. You're more than welcome. Yes. I think that's all for tonight. I don't think we have anything left. Is there any last minute questions, comments, discussions? So if you want any questions for JD Mills, please send them in now this week because you're sending them. I'm planning to send them to JD Mills after next week's Wednesday night. So I plan to make sure we have all the questions that night, and then Thursday morning we'll send it to them so that they have the weekend to really like look at the questions, make sure that if they have any questions for us before that, it'll be fine. That kind of thing. Hope, I was just saying that I do have a form for if you're interested in beta reading. And maybe I will add that into the Discord so you guys already know. That sounds good. Thank you, Benji, for joining. But just know that we're around on Discord. And if you need any help with anything or are curious topic, let us know. We're very, very active there. I will also say, I know we still have the Fable account. It's still open. We don't use it. I have a post on there that says like, hey, like go to Discord kind of thing. But so I have actually removed it off my link tree because we don't use it. We go to Discord and chat there. We also have the like stage on Discord. And we're very confused on that because we did try it, but it made me like this. It was very weird because we had thought maybe if we couldn't do YouTube live and we couldn't do TikTok or Instagram lives with the authors, we could do it on Discord. We're a little bit confused on how that can happen. So we're gonna look into it a little bit more. Yes, it would. I got it to record. Yes. But you couldn't see. So, you know, like, cause I was like, I don't know. So it made me really squished. Yeah. It was very weird. So if anyone is like knowledgeable about Discord, let us know. Perfect. Okay. Well, anyways, I think that's all for tonight. Let us know if you need anything and we will continue to read. Next week we'll finish chapters 16 to 20 and we'll discuss what is left of the book and what happens and all of that. And then the next Monday, October 27th, we'll have the author discussion. But yeah, okay. That sounds good. Well, happy Wednesday, happy reading, and we will see you guys later. Bye. Good night.